Slow. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. No pares hasta que diga que pares. Yeah. No pares hasta que vaya a walk the cliff. Take a deep breath. Slow. Keep going. 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 You're trying to block it with your tongue. It'll tell me when you're trying to block it with your tongue. Okay? It's a slow, steady exhale. Okay? Deep breath. Slow. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Stop.
Did you place the individual under arrest at that point?
I did.
Okay. Was he transported down to LMDC?
Corrections, yes. He was.
Corrections, yes. For further testing, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
For breathalyzer, or blood.
Okay.
They took his breathalyzer back at the station, 0.16. They drew blood from him as well. That was 0.161. Both of those 2 hours after this crash. 0.16. Most states, 0.08 is the legal limit. So that's twice the legal limit. Let's bring in Court TV legal correspondent Chanley Painter, who is in Kentucky where this trial is taking place. Chanley, one question a lot of people have when we talk about this case. He's driving under the influence. There's a crash. A man dies. He's charged with murder. How are prosecutors going from driving under the influence, getting into an accident, someone dies, to murder here?
Well, I looked up the law here in the state of Kentucky, what they charged the defendant under, and I wanted to present that to our viewers because it's written differently than a lot of other murder statutes that we cover here on Court TV, and it's basically a two-pronged murder statute. First, it says a person is guilty of murder when he intends to, but this B part says including but not limited to the operation of a motor vehicle under circumstances manifesting extreme indifference to human life. He wantonly engages in conduct which creates a grave risk of death to another person and thereby causes the death of another person. So, Vinny, you mentioned the blood alcohol level of the defendant here. The prosecution put on an expert today, a forensic pathologist, through his calculations told the jury that at the time of the crash, he expected the level to be to 0.191 here at the time of the crash. So through the body cam video, through the surveillance video, they're trying to establish that all of these factors coming together, the fact that the defendant intended to drink that day, intended to drink more, going to get more beer that day, intended to get behind the wheel of a motor vehicle, intended to speed down a 2-lane road in a public park, public golf course with a lot of people around. All of that together, the prosecutor quote said, all that stuff together makes this murder for the wanton killing of Chris Schulz.
All right, I'm really fascinated by the number, 0.19, right? So 0.16 is 2 hours afterwards. So this expert is extrapolating backwards, saying that the number was even higher when he was behind the wheel of that car?
Exactly. It got a little bit tedious with his testimony, but I think the upshot overall point was that at the time of the crash, and he went through based on the BAC level for 2 and 3 hours after, the blood drawn 1.161 and 0.141. He kind of backtracked that to the metabolism rate, all these other factors, and came to the conclusion that at the time of the accident, it was 0.191. And of course, we witnessed on cross the defense trying to poke some holes into that under some hypotheticals about when the last time he actually had an alcoholic beverage was. That could affect the number, but still the difference between 0.191 and 0.161 is still over the limit, right?
Absolutely. All right, Chanley Painter in Kentucky tonight. Let's bring back in our think tank, get a little bit of perspective on all this. Let me show you one more piece of the body cam, okay? So you can see what the defendant looked like, the way he was acting, his demeanor just after the crash. Take a look.
Bright sunny day?
Yes.
No weather issues at all?
Correct.
Do you understand those directions? All right. Whenever you're ready to begin, cuando estés listo. Cuenta para que te escuchemos.
Let's pause here.
All right, Nima Rahmani, he's doing okay for a .19.
Pretty good, yeah. It reminds me of my days as a young prosecutor, prosecuting those DUIs, looking at the preliminary alcohol screening device, the walk-in turn, those field sobriety tests. You know, I have to say that in this case, I do think that they did overcharge here. You know, despite, and Vinny, you know me, it's very rare for me to criticize prosecutors.
Wait a minute. We're gonna wait. Say it one more time.
I think prosecutors overcharge this one. I really do. You know, I don't know what's going on in the state of Kentucky. Someone can shoot into a building and kill Breonna Taylor. You don't even get a manslaughter charge there. You get wanton endangerment, but apparently someone's under the influence of alcohol, even twice the limit. I think, look, you charge manslaughter like you should. You get any enhancements for the alcohol, for the hit and run. But, you know, charging murder really is overcharging this case, in my opinion. You got to show some intent to rise to the level of murder. So, you know, it's heartbreaking that someone lost their life.
We just covered a murder trial here with no intent. Derek Chauvin was convicted of murder with no intent. Kirk Nurmi. Chanley read the law to us. It seems pretty clear that there was a disregard for anyone else in the world after he downed a bottle of Hennessy and had to go make another beer run, going more than 50 miles an hour down in between, in the middle of a park and going through a golf course, Kirk.
Yeah, Vinny, I agree. I mean, 0.19 is incredibly high. I mean, I'm amazed that he could stand up and do what he did, given that blood alcohol level. It speaks to maybe his pattern of drinking in that regard, and I think the jury might consider that, even though maybe they're going to be told not to. We have that. We have the speed. And we have the situation where he's going through a golf course. There's lots of people crossing. You know, could this be a manslaughter? Yes, but could this be the kind of wanton conduct that the Kentucky statute calls for? Yeah, I think it's very well possible that the state or the Commonwealth of Kentucky could get a conviction based on the wording of that statute and the facts we see here.
This is so dangerous. I'm going to Eklund Mercy to break the tie. Are you kidding me? Go ahead, Eklund.
I think they overcharged. I really do. Although his actions were reckless, of course, but to the point of a murder conviction, I think that they are overreaching. And with regards to the BAC, I have been on the opposite. I used to defend a lot of DUI cases, and you know, if you belch while taking the breathalyzer, it's going to be higher. There are certain things that will make, you know, those tests or the you know, the results of that test, you know, you can debate. So it's going to be a fact question, but seeing him stand there and not really sway left and right, he's answering the questions. If you follow NHTSA, the officer was supposed to show him how to do the walk and turn, and we don't see that. So, I mean, there's a lot of things to poke holes in it. I just don't see it being to the point of murder.
All right, and we're going to take this piece of tape, Nima, and we're going to save it in the archives and break it out every once in a while. Chanley Painter, what's coming up tomorrow? What can we expect in the courtroom?
We expect the prosecution's case to continue. We're hearing they have around 5 witnesses left in their case in chief, Vinny, which means we could have the prosecution rest by early afternoon. Still no word if the defense will put on a case. They did call 1 witness earlier today out of order. Will they put on more witnesses? We'll have to wait and see.
All right, Chanley Painter in Kentucky for us tonight. Thanks so much. Still ahead.